Here I'm going to try something I've never tried before. I have an old Simpson 260 meter, and it's got a big gouge out of it, and I've been wanting to fix it for some time. I was going to do it with this two-part epoxy, Permatex plastic welder. There's a number of different brands that will do the same thing, but I picked this up because it's the cheapest. And I was thinking of trying mixing it with some acrylic paint and see what happens. The acrylic paint is plastic based, so I don't see how it should interfere with the curing process. So I'll just put a small amount out that I want to use and mix a little bit of this acrylic black paint here in with the mix, and then I'll just put it onto the meter, the case of the meter. I'll spread it and fill in the hole, and hopefully it'll cure quite well. Never tried this process before, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the results are. Just take it with a screwdriver and just fill it in and try and make the there it's filling in quite nicely, and just smoothing is the hardest thing to do. There, I could always file it down there and wipe it off. So this here is filled in, and it's hardening quite well. And once it's hard, tomorrow I'll take some sandpaper to it and sculpt it and make it look smooth. Mixing that it was a hit or miss process. I didn't know if it would work, but it seems to be working okay. I think the secret is to get enough hardener in there. This particular thing, as I was using here, this dispenser, as usual, it puts out too much product, and you end up mixing up a lot more than you need. But anyway, let's hope this works and I can get a nice finish tomorrow. Other than having that chip out of the top and the results of an earlier restoration, down at right up the top there, I had previously fixed a chip that was out of the battery compartment here. Being gray, I don't really care about that. This is where the pen light batteries go in for the ohm meter section. But the back originally of this meter was in quite rough shape, so I changed it with a meter that I had that had a good back. So, but other than that, it works fine. It looks pretty good. It's got all the features that we like on the 260. The number one feature that I like about these earlier Simpson 260s is the 5,000 volt and 5,000 volt AC and DC feature, and the 50 microamp. That is a very nice thing to have. But the 5,000 volt, I really like that. It's an extremely high input impedance, and it measures a lot of high voltage projects, you know, high voltage devices that you don't get it in. You need to get a high voltage probe usually, but this has it. I don't know why the later ones today don't have it. Maybe there's no demand for it. But anyway, Once this cures, it'll look quite a bit better. So I have filed this all down smooth, and I'm just going to take a bit of 1000 grit sandpaper, and then I will rub it with some material that liquid that will let me see what the real color is. It's come out pretty smooth, and it looks pretty good considering what it looked like before. This is a big chip out of here, so we'll just play it by ear and see how it works. So it ended up turning out pretty good. Only it's a gray instead of a black. But considering the way it looked, it had a big crack out of it here. It looks a lot better. So I'm just going to touch it up with some acrylic paint, see what that does. But I'll have to make note that next time I mix this up, I'll have to put more black in it. So now I've painted it with some acrylic paint, the same stuff that I dyed the filler with, and it looks pretty good. So if I want to use that acrylic paint in filler, I just have to make sure that I put more black dye in, or more black paint, to give it more a darker color. So that turned out pretty good, and now I know I can use that process to fill in gouges in radios and anything that's bakelite or plastic. I've got a long list of projects that I want to do that too.